Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about Jabril Cox, the linebacker out of LSU, is the man himself, the early morning riser, the late-in sleeper, the late-nighter himself, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
What's going on, Jeremiah? Another great Monday talking football with you, buddy. We just had a really good draft profile on Davis Mills. Go check that one out. We're switching over to defense this time, though, with Jabril Cox, the young linebacker coming out of LSU, the Tigers, by the way. Go Tigers. That's G-E-U-X, Tigers, by the way. Not G-O. You got to spell it right down for the Cajuns down there in Louisiana. So, hey, ready to talk about this young man.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching, make sure that thank you so much for watching first off, but make sure that you like, share, and subscribe the video. And if you're listening to the podcast, be sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you get every episode. We put out an episode nearly every day. So if you love draft profiles, you're going to want to subscribe so that you get a new hit of information every single day. So without further ado, Mr. Landers, tell us about Jabril Cox out of LSU.
Man, Jabril Cox has a great story, man. So Jabril Cox, a very good, very talented individual at LSU, but he didn't start off there. The 6'4", 231-pounder actually went to a team that we've talked about a few times on the program, North Dakota State Bison. So he started off there with NDSU. Like I said, don't sleep on that team now. They've got a lot of good, talented guys who either come out of that school or, like with Jabril Cox, transfers. So whenever he started off at NDSU, man, he was doing great. Redshirted his freshman year, which is pretty, that happens pretty much to all freshmen going into college football. So he was able to learn under that first year. But, man, he did really good. Moved to linebacker position his freshman year, and that's where it just all took off for him. It all clicked. Named second team of Missouri Valley Football Conference, newcomer of the year, so second team all-team as well. So he was already putting up good numbers. Conference Defensive Player of the Year, first team all Missouri Valley Conference player, man, 91 tackles in a season, 9.5 tackles for loss as well. Four interceptions and 4 sacks in a single season is phenomenal. Don't matter what school you play for, big or small, that's great numbers. He came back also, man, and then in 2019, 92 tackles, 5.5 was for a tackle for loss. Oh, man, this guy is impressive. He is a tackling machine, Jeremiah. This guy gets to the quarterback, gets to the running back, gets to the wide receiver. It don't matter. Linebacker, you got to get to everybody. So it don't matter who you put in front of this man, he's gonna knock you down. So after that, he transferred over to LSU, put up some really good numbers for the Bison. Went over to LSU and did great there. He got a sack, he got interception as well. Got 58 tackles this past season, 6.5 for loss. Got a sack, got some fumble recoveries, got a few passes defended. So this guy was all over the field for the Tigers, facing some stiff competition, even in the COVID-shortened season. And now he figured that it's time. It is prime time for me to head to the NFL, and I don't blame him. Now, there is some people knocking him, though, for playing just that one season at LSU. They don't know if he's really ready enough since he played, like I said, for North Dakota State, which is in a different conference. But we've seen there is plenty of talent there with this young man. This guy is a star in the making, I think, and a very talented, insanely athletic linebacker, which you need nowadays in the NFL where guys are getting faster and stronger and everything. And Jabril is just getting better and better with them. So I think that, man, overall, this dude is an absolute stud. He's played a lot of games as well, whether it was in North Dakota or whether it was in LSU. He played a lot. His pro day raised a few concerns because he did not attend it because he had a hamstring injury, which that's never a good thing. You go in there. He was training for it, of course, and he just tweaked his hamstring, nothing major, but he didn't want to further injure himself. And he figured, I'll let the stats and the game footage like we got up right now show for itself. And I think that, whether it was with the Bison where he had a stellar career, all the way from his freshman season to his time at LSU, and those few seasons he had with those teams, this guy is an absolute stud in the making, and I think one of the better linebackers that's going to go in this draft, I think. So I got my 3 teams as always, Jeremiah. I think this young man will be a wonderful fit for, and let me get them for you right now. So the first team I think Jabril Cox will be a good fit for is the Washington football team, a favorite of a guest of the show, Daniel Kelly. I think he would be a very good fit for that defense there. And then he would make the burgundy and gold look real nice for whatever their team name's going to be the next few seasons. I think he could be a leader on that defense. So we'll see. Next team I got, a team that made the playoffs last year, a team that's got a lot of hype, a lot of potential around them. I got the Cleveland Browns, man. They got a really good, potent offense. Their defense is pretty solid as well. But if you can get a very good linebacker like Jabril Cox, man, that might get them to the Super Bowl and get them a win as well. So this guy does it all for them. As you can see, man, he's making great tackles in the game footage we're showing right now, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. He's doing everything you want in a good linebacker. And also my third team, the LA Rams, Los Angeles Rams. I think he'd be a really good fit there. Like I said, they got a good quarterback. They got a new one. We'll see how they can do. Can Matt Stafford, can he lead that team to get a few wins? We'll have to see. They got a good defense as well. Very solid on the corners, very good safeties. But they need to just fine-tune that linebacker position if they can get Jabril Cox. Whatever team gets this, man, I expect them to get a few more wins, a lot more interceptions, a lot more tackles, sacks. You name it, this dude's going to do it for them. I'm thinking very highly of this young man, and I think he's going to get a few Pro Bowls, maybe even get some awards in his career. We'll see.
I will tell you, watching that game footage, I start to feel he's got this kinetic energy. Like he's very high energy. Like, I mean, he's a great player, and there's some, that's his highlight film. So obviously, that should be his best plays. But if you watch the couple of moments before he makes that great tackle or makes that great stop, or if you look at the next couple of moments after, looking at his energy level, and I was pretty excited by that, because you see him and he's got this kinetic energy. He's ready. He's like ready. He moves fast. He moves so fast, and then he finds those little jukes. Like he's got this little juke before and after he got this thing, and I see him get up and he's just like, yes. And he's just moving. He's ready. He's like, put me back in.
Right.
So yeah, that's gotta bode well for him coming into this draft. And I know anybody watching those highlights back to back like that, they see that it's consistent, his energy level being high like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see that. What are your final words for Jabril Cox?
Man, the best thing about this young man is that, so we saw the highlights. I've named some stats. He's got a lot of awards back with North Dakota State. He balled out his only season with the Tigers. And the thing that's scary is that he's still a raw talent, too. Because like I said, he only got that 1 year of SEC play. Right. And so he's still going into this pretty raw. And like you said, he's got great athleticism, amazing IQ as well, able to read what play is going to happen before it comes to him, can get to the ball with the best of them quick, strong. This guy's got a lot of great intangibles, a lot of great strengths, not that many weaknesses, honestly. And this guy is absolutely a stud in the making, I think. Whatever team gets this man is going to get a star in the NFL, I think, in a few years. Once he gets some fine-tuning, once he gets under a good coach and a good defense, learns the playbook. And North Dakota State, LSU, it don't matter where he was at. He was getting the ball, and he was getting tackles, he was getting sacks. And I think that Jabril Cox is going to be one of the better linebackers drafted in this NFL draft coming up in just a few weeks. It's coming up very soon. And whatever team gets this, man, I'm expecting this guy to have a stellar career.
Well, thank you so much for telling us all about Jabril Cox. For everybody watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us which team do you think is going to draft Jabril Cox just here in a few weeks. And if you are listening to us on the podcast, thank you so much. But if you haven't joined us on our podcast yet, make sure you go over to anywhere you listen to podcasts, whether you listen over on Spotify, whether you listen on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen, whether it be Stitcher, I think iHeartRadio, any of your Google Home devices or Alexa devices, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, we are ready and love to serve you, because we put out a podcast on our audio thing, giving great draft profiles and soon to be team profiles, and again soon again game previews pretty much every day over on our podcast. We do it in bite-sized pieces, 15 to 30 minutes. Usually don't only go over that if we've got an amazing interview or an amazing subject to really like dive deep on into. So we like to get you in there. Maybe on your morning drive, you can listen to us. And then on your evening drive, you can have a different podcast to listen to, and you can keep up with us throughout the week. So for the entire team here at 100 Yards of Football, thank you so much for listening to us. I'm the producer, Jeremiah Long, and you've been listening to Logan Landers, our amazing expert, give us the breakdown on Jabril Cox out of LSU. please stay tuned. We're about to have yet another amazing draft profile here in just a second.